Live.
You do.
Both want?
Yeah.
Sounds good. Good afternoon, everybody. How you going? Sunday afternoon. What a cracker of a day. I mean, I'm loving it. Loving this weather. Great time of the year. If you want to get married, today's a good day to get married. Unbelievable. How's your week been? Hope everyone's had a great week. Now, if you're joining us for the first time this afternoon, I'm gonna, like, as I talk, if I come forward like that, that means I've seen a question or someone's commented, and I'm gonna walk up, get closer so I can read it. You know, I've got my glasses on, so I'm good to go. But hope everyone's had a great day. So what we do is Sunday afternoons we talk tiny. If you've got any questions on tiny homes, make sure you bung them up on the Google there so I can answer them. And I've got a heap of questions here to go through as well. So if you've got anything you want to know, whether you're a first-time builder or you've just started looking into tiny homes, and make sure you bung something up on the Google there. And if you've got any questions, I'll attempt to answer more as we go through. So yeah, today I've had a flat-out weekend. Actually, I've been fertilising my paddocks for the last couple of days, and I've just sort of finished doing that, and I've got a mobile butcher in, and I've butchering up one of our cattle for our homegrown meat, and we've got people coming up collecting bones, so for their dogs and stuff like that. So I don't we try to use as much as we can of our animals, you know. So so it helps people out with their dogs. They come up and pick up the bones. We'll put it up on the Google, and people come up and grab that. So it's really, really good, you know. And I love my cows, and this one today that we butchered was, I don't know if I should talk this sort of stuff. I hope people don't get turned off when I start talking cows. But you know what? Meat is good. I love me meat. I love me T-bones and that sort of stuff. And I also love me cattle. I look after them in the paddocks. I feed them well. They get really well looked after. And I always pray for them whenever I've got to butcher one of them up for our homegrown meat, because they provide a service for our family, which is providing the meat. And then, of course, we can sort of pay it forward and give people all the, whether they want the offal or whether they want the bones, you know. So, this is a bit gruesome, isn't it? We're talking tiny houses, and I'm talking killing cows, you know. So I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But anyway, I'm just an old redneck, so I can get away with it because, like, I'm me. Anyway, I've got a heap of questions. If you've got any questions, bung them up on the screen, and I'll start rattling on. 5th of February. Oh, my, can you believe it? 5th of February, 2023. Wow. Mate, time is just flying. So it's really, really going fast. And, mate, it's must be because I'm busy or something, because it's just every day just blends into the next, and then it's all over. And me Sparkies, me plumbers, they're all telling me, oh, Rick, can we start at 4:30? Like, I'm talking AM, not PM, AM. Sparkies, oh, Rick, can I work 5:30 every day this week because I've got other builders to work for, and you've got me going flat out, you know. So it's just, I'm not copping a lot of sleep right now, but I suppose I'm only, I wake up at 5 o'clock anyway, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, got a heap of questions. I'm going to start rattling on. If you've got any questions, make sure you bung them up on the screen, and then I can answer those as well, you know. So here's the first question. What is your price range? Okay, well, we have a price range. We've got 1 bedders, 2 bedders, and 3 bedders. So depending what size tiny home and what your budget is, our 1 bedders start at $79,000. That'll be our Tucker's Rest. And then you go right up to our 2 and 3 bedders, which will be our Jackson are the 2 bedders. Then you got your Jolies that are 3 bedders. Then a heap of other models also that come into into play. So so just depending what price range you're at and what ultimately is going to be the end use. Are you going to use your home for a B&B? Is it going to be a commercial venture? Is it going to be owner occupied? So you're buying your home to actually live in with your family. As we mentioned the other week, most of our homes are actually being bought as owner occupied. So family, mum, dad, couple of kids, and marriage breakdown ladies. That's a huge market as well. Single mums, and also young married couples, you know. So especially in the climate we're in right now, it's a bit shaky out there, you know. Number 2, can we pick up our own tiny home? Now, our smaller models, say the Bow River or the Tucker's Rest model, they're only about 2.5 tonne. So if you just got a normal 4-wheel drive, you can actually tow those yourself. So you just hook them up, no problem. But I always like to just look at what you're going to tow with. because we want you to be safe on the road, and we've got an obligation as well to our clients that we're making sure we're not breaking any laws and that sort of thing, you know. So talk to us on that. Of course, once you start tapping into our bigger homes, our 2 and 3 bedders, now you're starting to talk 4.5 tonne. So yes, you can tow it as long as you've got a truck license and the right towing vehicle to be able to hook it up and tow it away. So like I mentioned, we don't want people, I won't let anyone tow out of our site that's illegal or it looks a bit shaky, you know. So otherwise we can organise transport for you with our tiny homes. But yes, the answer is yes, you can pick up your own tiny home as long as it's all legit and you meet all the regulations, you know. Number 3, I'm building my own tiny home. What's the best insulation? Well, if you're building your own tiny home out of, say, stick timber, if you're going to build it out of treated pine and or steel framed home, I'd be looking at the more acoustic insulation. So you've got sound, the acoustic insulation is a lot denser. So not only is it a great thermal insulation, but it's also a good acoustic insulation as well. So I'll be sort of looking at, if you go acoustic, that's going to give you thermal qualities that you actually need. But make sure when you actually put it into your home, that especially if it's going to be movable and moving around from place to place, make sure you staple it in position, because at the end of the day, once you stick it in between the studs, okay, so it's pushed in, you think, oh yeah, she'll be right. But don't forget, if you're towing it on a road and you're going a couple of 100 Ks, you know, it might be a bit rough, or you're going bush or whatever, there's going to be vibration and movement in your home. Now what that's going to do, that means your insulation is going to shuffle a bit inside in between the frames, and if it's not stable or held in position, it'll actually have a tendency to actually drop down because of the movement. Now this is not bad workmanship, this is just nature of the beast. It's because of the vibration and the movement as you move your home, okay? So make sure it's fixed in position so it doesn't drop down, because at the end of the day, if your insulation dropped down and you've got an inch of space or air gap above your insulation, it's useless. Your whole wall is gone. You might as well not even stick any insulation in it, you know. So make sure the insulation is actually fixed tight in position. As you're aware, we build our homes out of refrigeration panel, so it's solid polystyrene, so we don't have any problem with movement or the insulation moving within the frames, because the actual whole wall is polystyrene, you know. I've got a question here. Do you know any park places on the south coast where a tiny home can park? South coast, a matter of fact, I do. Who's that from? That Georgian. So I'm sorry, you haven't got a name there. So I do know a couple of spots around the place. Got a heap around the Illawarra area. I've got a couple up north that I know of down south, and I've also got a spot down south of Illawarra as well. So if you're after a spot, contact me direct. My number's on the on our Google page. Give me a call, and then we can set you up. You know, so no problem at all. Number 4, did you do a dance during the filming? Oh, okay, just to bring everyone up to speed, if you didn't see our stuff that Storm's putting up on the Google this week, we're doing the final shoot for our 6 series show that goes to air this year. The guys were telling me probably around about mid-year, around about June, July. Now, it's a 6 series show. It's, oh, guys, I don't even know what this one's called now. I forget where I'm up to. Something about homes. Anyway, but there's about 10 or 12 homes that are actually, it's like a competition. So it's homes that are going into it, like we're talking multi-million-dollar homes, but they've selected our home, a tiny home, to be in the series as well. And it'll be going up sometime this year. And yes, I did have a bit of a jig in one of the segments. So I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but anyway, funny as. So good job I don't take myself too seriously. What do you mean expansion sale? Okay, just to bring people up to speed with that, in about a month's time, expansion sale. Well, we've picked up some more land for our displays village because we need it. We're busting at the seams at the moment, and because with the extra assembly line we've got going in the factory, man, we're starting a new tiny home every 3 working days, and I'm just like flat out. I've got to get them out of there quick, smart. I've put on an extra painter as well, so we're flat strapped, so ultimately we've got to get them out of the factory because our factory is only about 700 square metres, so it's tight, especially when you bung an 8.2 by 3 metre tiny home in there. You know, there's not a lot of room to move. So we picked up some more land where our display village is, so that'll double the site, another 3,000 square metres. So expansion sale is that we've got some stock, some single bedders that we've got available there for sale. So we are offering a good discount, 10% discount off those. So if you're keen, you're looking for B&Bs and stuff, these are ideally suited for the B&B market. Come to us. So about a month. Keep an eye on the webpage anyway, and we'll see. And you can see when that actual sale is starting. So expansion sale, we just want to offload some stock that's been there for about 5 or 6 months, just so gives us the cash flow to crack into the next wave. You know, so it's funny. You know, I thought we'll build some one bedders, and we get a lot of calls for people to actually look at buying the one bedders. For B&Bs and whatnot. So they come specifically to buy the one bedders, and then all of a sudden they upgrade to the 2 and 3 bedders because they look at it for a few extra bucks. They're picking up a bigger home, and so I guess they've served their purpose, the single bedders. But it all comes down to budget. A lot of people do have a tighter budget, and that's what we appreciate. So we're trying to, when we first got into the tiny home business, our objective was to create affordable housing, you know. So, and that's what we want to stick to, is to keep our homes affordable, trying to give people the best bang for their buck, and hence our 3 metre homes in most cases are comparative in price to the 2.4 better homes out there, 2.4 wide homes out there. So, and it's not that we're cheap; it's just that we're giving people a good bang for their buck, you know. So, that's that. Hence the reason for the expansion sale. We want to create extra space. So now the guys are smashing in the factory. We put on 3 extra staff, and they're working like clockwork. I'm so impressed. And so excited about the synergy in the factory, and everyone's just loving it, you know, which is fantastic, you know. Number 6, I'm researching a tiny home company in Queensland. What are some key points I should be looking for? Well, I guess, yeah, like talking other homes, if I can give any advice, if anyone wants to listen, but I think checking out the homes or the company that you're looking at buying from, making sure they've got some credibility, they've got some building background, or the people that are building their homes have that building background, because there's so many things that ultimately can go wrong when you're building a tiny home. Tiny homes, at the end of the day, they've got all the same amount of trades as building a big home, whether it's a high rise or a domestic home. Apart from concreters, every other trade is there. Carpenters, not gyprockers, but finishing internal walls, plumbers, electricians, painters, bathroom fit out guys, tilers, all that sort of stuff. They're all there. So just need to check to make sure the company that you're looking at going with, they've got a bit of building background, or the builders that they're using to build their tiny homes have that building background, and then you're going to get a great product, you know. So there's some great builders up in Queensland. I met a lot of them up there at the Cleveland show last year. We're going to that again this year, up there with Faye, and looking forward to that, and to see apparently there's a heap of new builders that are coming in the market, so looking forward to meeting them this year up in at the Cleveland show. So heaps of great builders out there. Just do your homework in regards to what to look for in the home itself. I think at the end of the day, if they've got that building background, they're going to know how to build, like the waterproofing, the insulation, the certification of the electrical, the plumbing, the gas, all that sort of stuff. And then really it really comes down to the actual the finished trades, looking at the finishing trades to make sure they've done a great job in the first place, you know. So number 7, can you build a home more than 4.5 tonne? Now, we're actually, I did chat about this about a couple of months ago. We're looking into, because I want to build about a 5 to 6 tonner. Now, at this stage, my trailer manufacturer's done a lot of homework, and at this stage we can't go over 4.5 tonne, even though everything like 4 axle, air brakes, the whole shooting shebang, but just the sheer, because it's never been done before in Australia, I'm not sure overseas, but in Australia it's never been done before for a towing caravan on the back of a towing vehicle, even though all the specs rack up, but no one's done the actual full assessment required and testing that's required to actually get it ticketed to be able to do it on the road. So our guys are looking into it, so we may tap into that this year. We'll see how we go. But we're talking massive homes. I mean, our homes are already 8.2, 9.2, 3 metres wide. I mean, they're massive. They're huge. Matter of fact, later this year we'll be doing a, 11 metre home. But there's a maximum length you can build homes, and that really comes down to the RMS because of the towing vehicle and then the length of the home. It can't be, a trailer can't be any longer than 12.5 metres. Now, that's from the tow hitch to the back of the trailer. That's just a legal thing they've brought out. Don't know exactly why what the credentials of that are, but that's what they're saying. So therefore, you've got 1.5 metres of hitch. So 11 metres is the maximum you can be able to build a home. And then it comes down to weight. If you're going to build an 11 metre home, it's obviously going to have to be single level, because as soon as you start bunging on the second story, you're not going to be able to come in within the 4.5 tonne. You know, you're going to be a mile overweight. So you just got to be careful with that, you know. Number 8, did you get a new ute? It looked camo green. Funny story. You ready for this? Oh, Rick, I'm a bit of a tightwad, right? So, and to me, what do I need a new truck for? I've got my truck. There's nothing wrong with my truck. It'll just keep going. I just got a brand new motor. I did talk about this back a ways under warranty. There's a manufacturing fault. 5 years old. Mitsubishi honoured it because of the manufacturing fault. So praise Mitsubishi. Brand new motor. I mean, I got my canopy on the back, got my spotties, mate, got my 5-poster bull bar, mate. It's all happening. So, in actual fact, I went and got a poor man paint job. You ready for this? Hand painted with a brush. Can you believe it? $1,500. John O'Signs, mate, you are a legend. What a great guy. I was going to get it vinyl wrapped in. It was going to cost me about 10 or 11 grand to get it painted, like freshly painted. So I thought, nah, bugger that. So I just went for I was going to get a vinyl wrap. I was going to about 5 grand for a vinyl wrap. And old Dave from John O'Signs says, Rick, why don't I just paint it? I thought, yeah, that'll do, mate. I'm not too proud, you know. So he's actually just painted with a brush. Can you believe it? And it's come up Mickey Mouse. What a job. $1,500. Praise Jesus. Good on you, John O'Signs, mate. You're a legend. Number 9. Can I come on the weekend to inspect your display village? Well, you can by appointment. Now, we're not open on weekends because I've got to do my farm work. I've got to look after my cows, man. I've got things to do, man. I'm busy. Lord have mercy, there's not enough hours in the day. But yeah, I'm up on the farm on the weekend, Saturday, Sundays. But hey, listen, it's push comes to shove, your shift workers or whatever, you want to get through our display village on the weekend. If you call in advance, yes, I can organise an opening and an inspection on the Saturdays or the Sundays. You know, no problem at all. Or if you want to do one after hours, I can do all that as well. But by appointment, because otherwise I'll get in big trouble because I've got to help Shani out with the foster kids. You know, we're a bit flat out. And plus I've got my olds coming down there, got to move in. So we've got to be a bit flat out in a while. So number 10, can you crane a tiny home into position? Yeah, for sure. Can you believe the first tiny home I ever built? First tiny home ever built. Sold up to Chatswood, craned into the backyard. Wow. We had to go up this laneway with an 85-tonne crane. It was just insane. So the answer to that is yes, we can crane tiny homes into backyards. Now, you will need to, we need to know, if you're going to crane a tiny home, we need to know in advance so we can organise whether it be a cradle to actually crane the tiny home. So we actually put the cradle, a custom-made cradle, under the home. And then we've got to look at things like, you know, can we set up a crane in front of the of your home? Is there power lines at the front? How far the lift is? So there's lots of stuff that come into play. Now, if you're up a quiet cul-de-sac street, we might be able to run the gauntlet and bung a crane there without having to do a road closure and organising traffic control. But if it's just a simple crane job, yeah, you're probably anywhere from 2 to 5 grand. If you're looking at a if you're in a suburban street, you start looking at road closures. It's going to to get a permit. You're probably looking at about $1,000 for a permit, and then traffic control. You're probably up for about $2,000 for the traffic control. So a lot of it, there's a lot that comes into play if you want to crane the tiny home into your backyard. So, but if you've got power lines out the front, you can't crane over power lines. So if you can't get under the power lines and there's not enough room between the power lines and your house, we're going to be snookered. Love your work, Rick. Who's this from? Ailey, Bombay. G'day, Ailey. How you going? Yeah, I'm just rattling on. I hope everyone's having a great afternoon. But now remember, everyone's gone quiet on me. Where's all your questions? Come on, man. So if you've got any questions, make sure you bung them up because I'm nearly finished. I'm just about finished all my questions. I had someone during the week have a bit of a dig at me about our design license on our tiny homes. So we were restricting the market or sabotaging the market or this or that. And I thought, well, you know what? The market, the tiny home market was doing perfectly well without Havenwood. So before we came along, everyone's selling tiny homes, 2.4s, no problem. So we conceived an idea. Back in 2016, I actually conceived the idea. So we're talking about 9 years ago, whatever it was. Because of our own situation, I'd built a tiny home for my kids on my little 1 acre lot. In short, we sold that 1 acre and bought a farm about 20, 30 k's away. The home I built for my kids was too high to put on the back of a truck. So then I had to build a cradle or trailer for it. So it was lowered out, custom-made trailer for the home to be able to transport from our 1 acre lot to the actual farm. So I thought, why don't I just build a trailer? So I did. And don't tell anyone, that one wasn't registered, okay, but we did it at 2 o'clock in the morning, so through Jamboree, she'll be right. Anyway, so we skull-dragged in the middle of the night with me 4 son-in-laws. That was quite funny. And we got it there safe and sound. But that's where I'd conceived the idea. And then when my daughter, a couple of years later, mentioned about tiny homes in America and stuff, and I thought then I sort of tapped into the tiny home market. I thought, this is life after high-rise. Why don't I start building tiny homes? So that's where that's a short answer to how I sort of tapped into it. So, but I want to let people know that at the end of the day, we're not sabotaging the industry. If you want to build 3 metre or whatever 3.5 metre detachable homes from your trailers, I won't sell you the actual trailer. We'll build the whole structure. So got a question there from Joanna Scott. Hi Rick, do you build tiny homes to lock up stage? And that's where I'm just sort of tapping into there now, Joanna. The answer is yes, especially our bigger homes. So what we do, the 3 metre home, we build the shell for you. So you tell us what you're after, whether flat roof, pitch roof, how long, mezzanines, walls, whatever. We build the whole structure for you. We'll have one opening in that structure. That'll be the front door opening. And then what that does, that's a solid structure that's transportable on the road, waterproof, fully waterproof solid structure, because we build from refrigeration panel, okay? So it's a solid structure. You can actually live in that. You have to have a camp oven or something, but and then you can do your own. You can cut your own windows out, put your own electrical in, put your own PCs in, put your own. But we've built the floors, the walls, the roof, watertight structure. And actual fact, my father-in-law, when I was chatting to him about this, how we had this design license on our concept of the removable trailers from removable tiny homes from lockable, from registered trailers. He gave me a great analogy in that, because I've got an old vintage car I bought at a clearing sale, an old Whippet, okay? In short, in Australia, it was General Motors from the USA who had the license to bring in the chassis, wheels and motors, in most cases, on these so that's what you bought. So when they come in from America, General Motors supplied the chassis, wheels, motor and steering column. And then companies then in Australia, which you've got you've got companies like Holden Motor Builders. They actually license then their model or carcass they put on those chassis. Okay, so you've got they got the chassis. They built their own bodywork over the top of that, and they call it their own. So likewise with us, with Havenwood, if you want to tap into the larger trailers than 2.4, you can buy the whole trailer and chassis from us, chassis and frame from us, and then brand it yours. Put your own windows in, put your own flare on it, do your own kitchens and the whole shoot and shebang. So you can actually call it your own. So in some respects, I sort of think, well, we're not sabotaging any industry, and I'm trying to help the industry. I'm trying to do as much as we can for the industry because I want it to succeed in our own, in however we can contribute. Hence, our Sunday afternoon lives. I mean, I try to give as much information as I can. I don't hold back. There's not one question I won't answer. I'll give you all the answers that I know through 30, 35 now years of building experience. So I try to put it all on the table as much as I can. So as well as that, like all of our plans, mate, free. Don't charge nothing. Have a look on our net. All the plans are there. All of our models, we've got them labelled. So we give as much stuff as we can to the industry to help people. I've got multiple young builders coming to me, asking me all questions. Can you give me advice, this, that? Or, mate, happy to give any advice I can. It's because, like I said, I want them to succeed, which helps the overall industry and helps them to build a better product as well. So I don't really see how I'm sabotaging the industry, but I guess that's... for the clients, I'm helping as much as I can. But so if you've got any queries, any concerns, or any you want to know any goss or anything like that, just give me a call, man. Like I'm a total open book. I've got nothing to hide, and I'm trying to. At the end of the day, my heart is to help the industry. So I'm sorry if it's come across like that. That's not my intention. I just want, in our capacity, to help the industry as much as we can. So. I hope that answers that question. Hey, but listen, my questions are done for this week. There's no more questions coming up on the Google there. So short and sharp this week. And but listen, if you've got any other questions during the week, make sure you slip them through to us, and then we'll attempt to answer those the following weekend. And if you don't forget to keep an eye out on our expansion sale. That's going to be exciting. I think we've got about 4 or 5 homes that we'll be looking at giving some great discounts on those if you're keen to pick up a few of those ones. They're the 1 and 2 bedders. And just to make room for our expansion because, like I said, the guys in the factory, they're absolutely flying. I mean, the crew's unbelievable. The synergy in the factory, the team is going so well. I'm so excited. And at the end of the day, what that does is giving me the confidence to go out and either deliver tiny homes and just keep the show on the road, So I'm really excited. Loving the industry, loving helping people, and just loving the people and clients that are coming through our gates and being able to talk to them and chat to them and give them advice and help where we can. I mean, we're not perfect by any means. We've got a lot to learn, but we're doing our best. And if we're a bit slow getting back to you, just be cool. We'll always get back to you, So, but yeah, just loving the industry. So, but like I said, during the week, have a great week. If you've got any questions, make sure you slip them through to us. But keep an eye on our webpage. There's always something going on. Keep busy and have a great week. Uru.